What's up, folks? How you doing? Welcome to Football Digest, episode number 18. How are you doing? How is your week coming along? How was your Monday? How was your Tuesday? Fantastic, right? Great, good for you, because mine has been full of people taunting my fucking ass, because of what happened over the weekend. So let's get right into it. Like I said on Sunday, if you didn't check my post on Sunday, just go to Football Digest Facebook group, join, and you can check it out. It's an open group, by the way. So like I said, this weekend was a London versus Manchester affair, and so I think it's only right to say that London has fallen. Yeah, because all the teams that were representing London this weekend, they just fell apart. They just fell apart. The only team that did not fall apart, that was repping London this weekend, was Tottenham. And it hurts to say, right now it looks like Tottenham is the pride of London. It has to say that because I'm a Tottenham hater by default, but that's what it is. That's what it is. They won against Crystal Palace. Tight game that was. They won 1-0. Hurricane, he scored, I think, on the 89th minute. Almost game ikaenda kuisha out of a corner kick. Man, that guy just can't stop scoring. But it's worth noting he wasted a plethora of chances in that game before he scored, of course, that final one. So yeah, it was a tight game to say the least. And of course, it also shows that he's human, like he can waste chances, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, and now he has, I think, 36 goals this season. He's definitely the hottest striker right now in Europe, undoubtedly, hands down. And of course, now he's bridging, or he's building, or increasing that gap between him and Mohamed Salah. Mohamed Salah now has 31 goals this season. And that guy is just on fire. He scored against West Ham when they were playing this weekend. On Saturday, they were playing against West Ham. He scored. Firmino scored. Mane scored. Emre Can scored. Crazy. Liverpool have now scored 4 goals in 6 games this season. They have a total of 105 games. Oh no, 105. Is it 105? 103 games, 103 goals already this season, if I'm not wrong. I think I wrote that somewhere. They have 103 goals this season, and 66 goals out of those 103 have been scored by the 3. That is Firmino, Mane, and Mohamed Salah. I mean, it's like half of the goals that Liverpool have scored, so they've been phenomenal this season. And that game almost took them to number 2 in the league, by the way, because they now have 57 points. They almost got one over Manchester United, but Manchester United recovered, or if I would say, they beat Chelsea to go back to second in the league. Which brings me to the first London versus Manchester affair. Was going down at Old Trafford. Manchester United welcoming Chelsea. It was a fantastic game. It was covered with so much chemistry, so much drama, so much tension for both teams. For Manchester United, they had to win that one because there was some pressure building up because of their dismal performances versus Tottenham, where they got beat, versus Newcastle, where they got beat, versus Sevilla. It was a dismal performance, even though they didn't get beat. So, like, they wanted to get off some pressure, like relief of some pressure, and so they had to win that game. There was also, of course, this talk of Pogba having a feud with Mourinho because of not being allowed to play the way he wants, and Mourinho getting tired of all these people asking him about Pogba every now and then. He actually hugged a journalist some time back who did not ask him about Pogba. He was so relieved because it was getting into his nerves. Of course, there was also these small jibes that is it jibes or jabs? These small feuds that Conte were throwing each other against, Conte and Mourinho are throwing at each other, talking smack about one another. So it was a fantastic game, well and nicely built up, and lived up to it. Manchester United, of course, had the last laugh and they won. Lukaku was definitely the man of the match for me. He was phenomenal, especially his first goal. It was nice control, and to create that control the ball and be able to nick it in the back of the net. And then after that, he is just on fire. He was just confident. He was running at defenders. Of course, there was this cross that he produced that led to the second goal. Lingard, fantastic connect, by the way, with that cross. And that cross was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. That's the kind of cross, if you make kwa FIFA alafu ikuwe connected, manze, hey, shit, dope. Absolutely dope. So it was fantastic. He was phenomenal. What even is more fantastic is a pass that was made to Lukaku so that he can make that cross. You know, McTominay made that cross, made that pass where Lukaku connected with it or got it, then made the cross, which makes me wonder what the hell kina Xhaka waufanya, because they're always making sideways passes. And this guy, this young guy, just made that forward pass, always thinking forward, made the forward pass. Lukaku was there, connected with it, made a fantastic cross to Lingard, who connected perfectly, and boom, 2-1, and Chelsea never recovered after that. And it was definitely a deserved win for Manchester United. They played their hearts out. They needed that win badly. And of course, now they are second in the league, 2 points ahead of Liverpool, a team, by the way, who they might be facing very soon. I think the next 2 fixtures, there's a Liverpool somewhere around there. So it's going to be interesting to see. Whoever wins that game, by the way, will go second and might just hold on to that spot till the end of the season. And if Man U were to get beat, they would relinquish that position. And that would be disastrous, to say the least. Because manze Tottenham wako nyuma wanakuja na ubaya. So no one wants to make any blunders right now. So that's interesting. And what's more interesting, by the way, for me is how I used to think like Lukaku is having a bad season, till I realized that nigga has 22 goals this season. Yeah, 22 goals for a person who's performing badly. Well. That is not a bad conversion rate, is it? I mean, it's interesting. So he's definitely not having that bad a season as I thought. So it's I mean, there are so many games to go. I think, like, how many more games? You have like 10 more games to go. So he might actually, there's of course the Champions League, there's the FA, they are still in the FA. So he might almost nick 10 more games. He might actually get to 30 goals this season, Lukaku, for all his bad performances that people have been talking about. He might actually nick 30 goals. And there's something else I saw him suggesting on Twitter today, but that was brilliant. He was saying there's an NBA All-Star game. Like, people from different sides, they come and each producers are starting the best 5, you know, an all-star. Unatoa all-stars wako hii side, all-stars wanacheza timu ziko hii side, and they come and clash. And he was suggesting we could, you know, like have the same in the Premier League, where the north side of England produces all the clubs that are there. They produce a first 11, and of course the guys in the sub. And then the southern side produces all the clubs in the southern side. They produce the best players, starting 11. Alafu wanaenda wana have a game, a Premier League All-Star game. That is absolutely brilliant, by the way, of Lukaku to suggest something like that. I think it should happen. It should happen. It will be interesting to see how that would unfold. It will be very interesting. So only time will tell if that will be implemented by the Premier League or the Football Association. Watajipanga, watajua chenye wanafanya, but I would love to see it happen. Honestly, I would definitely love to see it happen. All right, which brings me to the Carabao Cup final. There's so much shit about this game, and so much has been said and written about how pathetic we are. I mean, Gary Neville was just, man, cold as fuck. Went straight to the fucking point. He said we were spineless, and that is exactly what we were. As in, Arsenal were just abysmal in that game. It's a pity that we can work all the way to go to the final only to produce such a performance. It makes absolutely no sense. That is why you are seeing a Toi crying on TV. As in, mtoto amelongia yani kwenda kucheki team favorite yake ikicheza, not really ikichezea Wembley, but ikicheza in a Carabao Cup final against Manchester City, and that is what they produce. Fuck. Embarrassing to say the least. So the performance in that game was, like I was saying in a post I made, it was symbolic of Arsenal's season so far. Poor. Everybody was. The only person who had a good performance, I would say, who showed some fight in him, was Wilshere. And it's even more ironical that he is the only guy who's come out on social media to like apologize to the fans. You know, like, tell the fans we understand how you're feeling. It may not change a thing, you know, me talking about it, but we definitely feel you. He is the only person who has come out to say so. And Ishida has not as Julian's Yawa, because, okay, I know where it started. And, you know, some years back, we used to say, like, we need to purchase players. We need to spend some money, because other teams were spending money. So we were thinking, like, all right, so we have cash in the bank. How about we throw some money and you know, go buy players? And we did. We bought the likes of Mustafi. We bought the likes of Xhaka. We bought the likes of Ozil. We bought the likes of Sanchez. We bought the likes of Lacazette. We bought the likes of Aubameyang. Man, we've been buying players. You know what I'm saying? But they keep getting worse. It keeps getting worse. As in, we buy a player today, and a couple of games down the line, he starts to look like shit. He starts to look like shit. We bought Xhaka. When we were buying Xhaka, he was doing phenomenally well in Bundesliga at Mönchengladbach. He was one of those guys who you were excited to have on board. Then he comes in, and this season, I feel like I just don't want to see his face anymore. I'm tired of his face. I'm tired of seeing him play, because he's doing the same mistakes over and over again. Always losing the ball, always being caught up, akizuba, dilly-dallying with the ball, ananyanganywa, and we are exposed, and tunapigwa pressure ingine mbaya sana. As in, unajua msi akifanya hivyo in one game, it's understandable. Maybe he was just having a bad day. But when you do that in 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 games, man, there's gonna be a problem right there. You know? So Xhaka tulimnunua sahi, I just feel I'm so tired of that guy. I'm tired of seeing him in the field. Another guy I'm so tired of is Mustafi. You know, when we bought Mustafi, alikuwa a Valencia center back. He was a German international, underline and weka bold apple. You know, being a German international is quite something. It's not like people just waltz out of nowhere and walk into the team. You got to be good to get there. You know what I'm saying? He was a German international. He was phenomenal when we was buying him. Now, he is so full of shit. He is a joke. He's cracking up jokes in the field. Like, he makes the same mistakes just like Xhaka over and over again. It makes me wonder, like, manze, I would say assistant manager wetu ni Steve Bold. During his heydays, he was one of the best defenders we have in the league. We had in the league, in the Premier League, because he used to play there. But weirdly enough, or strangely, our defenders have been so shambolic this season. Makes you wonder, like, what the hell are you guys eating? Because I need to check it out and ban it. Like, it needs to be banned as something edible, because it's fucking you guys up. I don't get it. I absolutely don't understand. It makes no sense. We bought Lacazette. Lacazette had that 7 goals this time we bought him last season. Now he's struggling to get 10 goals. The difference. You see the difference? As in, because you don't play to his strengths. I mean, unananga Lacazette sometime kwa kiwanja, ako too stranded. Anaguza ball mara tano. Manze, anapata chances mbaya. We never play to his strengths, and he's a fucking finisher. That's why we bought him. Na tulikuwa nasema yeye atakuwa tu anazifinish, because you have guys like Ozil who will be supplying balls to him. Now, man, the guy is struggling to get to 10 goals. No one player in Arsenal has double-digit goals. No one. I mean, it says a lot. That's why we have no player with double-digit goals. That's why we've lost 12 games this season. That's why we are 27 points behind the top Premier League side. That's why we are 10 points behind Tottenham, number 4. That is why everything is falling apart. It's so fucked up. It doesn't make any sense to me. It's so fucked up. Aubameyang, by the time we bought him, ishaanza hata ku trickle down on him. Aubameyang, the time we bought him, he was one of the fastest strikers in the world. Carabao Cup, tulimwekea ball, Company beat him to it. Like, Company alikimbia kumliko. As in, what the hell happens at Arsenal? Like, players are bought, they are good players, they come there, a couple months down the line, they are full of shit. The only person who has not been so full of shit is Ozil. And I recall some time when he came and people were so much on his ass, on his case, criticizing him. I mean, the guy right now, maybe he's wondering, why the hell did I extend his contract? I mean, I don't understand. Something is wrong there. And I think this thing wrong with Arsenal, especially their dismal performances, starts with the lack of balance in the midfield. And this happened when when Cazorla got injured, because they had formed a fantastic duo with Coquelin. Coquelin alikuwa this hard tackler, just going hard, get the ball, give it to Cazorla, he's gonna spray it forward. Now, Cazorla got injured, Coquelin started playing like shit. We've sold Coquelin. We got Xhaka. He can't go in hard tackles. He can't go in making hard tackles. Ramsey can't do the same. Wilshere can't do the same. There is no one guy in Arsenal who is a hard tackler. That is where the problem is coming in. Lack of such leaves the defense exposed. I mean, they can be good individually, and they are, but they can only be good for so long when they're exposed day in, day out. I mean, at one point, you'll just have to see how pathetic they are. It's so crazily bad that I'm even starting to doubt the likes of Koscielny. I mean, Koscielny is a French international. He is good. But he's been exposed so many times, we are forced to see like all the flaws that one can have, and we are forced to see them. And we start thinking like, oh shit, this guy is fucking poor. What the hell is he doing in our team? So shida Arsenal manze ni kubwa. There's a big road down there, and I think for starters there need to be an overhaul in the summer, and the first position that needs to be filled, besides defense and maybe goalkeeper, we need to buy a defensive fucking midfielder, some guy who just sits and make tackles and wins balls. Not some fancy defensive midfielder. Because guys like Xhaka are fancy defensive midfielders. They are not defensive midfielders. They are deep lying playmakers. Wataka to a ball, then they can spray it forward. Not for them to win the ball. They need someone else to win the ball for them, give it to them, then they'll make those big passes going forward. Ramsey is a box-to-box kind of guy. He's not the guy who will make long passes or, you know, shit like that. He just wants to walk with the ball, make connections with the wingers and the number 10 as he moves towards the opponent's box. Moving from one box to the other box. But defending on his box, not really. Not really his thing. You know what I'm saying? The same with Wilshere. Wilshere is not a hard tackler. I mean, he'll go in making... I mean, everyone can make tackles. Even Messi make tackles. But being a guy who just sits and wait for the ball, and anytime the opponent has the ball, you go in hard and make the tackle and win the ball. No one player at Arsenal is qualified to do that, because no one does it. The only person who was doing it was Coquelin. Then Cazorla got injured, like I said, and he started doing his own shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of crazy. No, it's not kind of crazy. It's crazy at Arsenal right now. It's crazy. And the overhaul in summer needs to go alongside Wenger leaving. He needs to leave, because I feel like, for me, the more he stays, the more he's tearing down his legacy slowly and surely. So he needs to go. He needs to go. Needless to say, this has been the worst season I've ever had. I'm even shocked, by the way, that we have not broken the record for the most losses in a season. We are at 12 losses, and 15-16 season, we had 14. The whole season. But then again, I'm like, okay, we are heading to March. We have like March, April, and May to play. And yeah, definitely we'll cut like 2 more or even more losses. So definitely that's another record we are going to shatter this goddamn season. We are definitely shattering that one. It's a pity, honestly. It's a pity. I don't think the manager should be proud of being such a team. And sometimes you feel like maybe it's not all about the manager. Maybe even the players themselves, like, they need to step up. But what happens when a guy like Mustafi does the same shit over and over again and no action is taken? Definitely, Ataka too make the same blunders. He knows that nothing is gonna happen. Then Atakwa too pole kababa. That is bullshit. These are guys who are earning like more than 100 G's per week. They should have kubembelezwa. Don't pester those bastards. Xhaka making the same mistakes over and over again, no action is taken. Because I am starting to feel, man, like, performances of Arsenal as a club, they are not dependent on how you perform on the pitch. As long as you want to make good sales, want to make good revenues and good profits, the fans can go fuck themselves for all they care. And that is such a pity. I have absolutely no doubt that is not how you're supposed to run a club. No, that is not. So Wenger and Afar, we need an overhaul in the summer, and as if it cannot get worse, we are playing the same Manchester City side this Thursday in the Premier League, because apparently your game ndio ilikuwa inafaa kuchezwa weekend. So ichezwa of course because of the Carabao Cup. So of course it has been pushed to Thursday. So I can't wait to see, like, if you're gonna respond or you're gonna get beat again. It's gonna be interesting to see how that happens. You know, going with all the what can I call it? the bad taste that is around Arsenal right now. I'm looking forward to seeing like how the atmosphere in Emirates is going to be that day, and that is exactly why I will watch that game. I know sometimes I feel like I don't want to watch games for Arsenal, especially after we get beat, embarrassed. But then again, it's like when you get beat a lot of times, like this season, we've gotten beaten so many times that this is can't give chungu anymore. It's like I'm numb now to the pain or to the losses. So I'm gonna just move forward and see how we're gonna respond to to Manchester City. All right. So I guess that's all there is to talk about those two games. And London has surely fallen, and it has fallen unfortunately in the hands of Manchester. Such a pity. Such a pity. All right, moving on swiftly. So other games that are being played this weekend, we had in La Liga, we had Barcelona hosting Girona. For weird reasons, I thought this game itakuwa a less scoring kind of game, like kind of 3-1 hivi or 2-1, because nilikuwa na Girona wanajua kukaza, wako number 6 in the league, but boy oh boy, how wrong was I? Ilisha 6-1. Coutinho had a crack of a goal, by the way. You should check out the highlights there on the Football Digest Facebook group. Go check it out. There's a link there. Man, it was a high scoring game. Actually, your game nilikuwa nimebet, but then nimeka under 4.5. Ilikuwa na very nice odds, 2 point something. Man, niliamka on Sunday asubuhi niko like, whoa, really? 6-1? And yeah, it was 6-1. It was 6-1. Crazy kind of game. And Barcelona, by the way, they are still unbeaten in the league, and now it's not a question of can they win it, it's now becoming a question of can they actually win it and go unbeaten, because they are yet to be beaten, you know what I'm saying? So it's more of a question of if they'll go unbeaten the whole season. Time will tell on that one. Another team that was playing this weekend was Atletico Madrid. They were being hosted by Sevilla. They beat that team like crazy, 5-2. Griezmann had a hat-trick. Diego Costa scored. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. I honestly didn't think it was going to be that high scoring a game. Alafu, there's this news I heard today that Yannick Carrasco and Nicolas Gaitan, they have left Atletico Madrid to go to play in China. It makes no sense to me why they would leave at this time of the season to go to play in China. I don't know even why Madrid would let them go. Why would they even go? Or maybe it's because of the money, or maybe because they're not getting playing time. But then again, ni Madrid, manze. Atletico Madrid, it's a team of prestige, you know? You just can't leave to go to play in China unless you're money oriented and shit, you know? So I'm still getting to terms with that. It has happened already. There's nothing we can do about it. I'm still shocked though. They had to make such moves, especially at this time of the season. Another game was being played at Madrid. Of course, Real Madrid were hosting Alaves. They won 4-0. Solid performance from the Zidane boys. Cristiano with a brace. And I feel like they're starting to find their groove now. Like if you check, and they're winning big, by the way. If you check the last 4 games, wamekuwa tu wakishinda big wins. Wanna score a lot of games. They are even playing today versus Espanyol. So it's gonna be interesting to see how they're gonna do that, because they're playing away. And Espanyol wanajua kukaza wakiwa nyumbani, especially wakijua a team as phenomenal as Madrid is coming to town. So watakaza yao yote. So it's gonna be interesting to see how that unfolds. There's also, of course, another game being played in La Liga today. We have Girona versus Celta Vigo. I think that would be another cracker. Celta Vigo wako juu ya Girona. I think they're number I think Girona, they're number 11. Celta Vigo, I think they're number 8 or around there. Watu wa kubeti, I think itakuwa goal. We'll see. So yeah, that's just another game that is being played. My point was Madrid were playing, and they're starting to find their groove as they approach the return leg for the Champions League against PSG. Speaking of which, PSG, they were playing this weekend. Clasico ya ilikuwa this weekend against Marseille. I know. Clasico ya Ligue 1 inakuanga PSG versus Marseille. Crazy. I think they're the 2 highest teams in France. Like when you're mentioning the most league titles. That's why it's called a Clasico, I think. So they were playing, they won 3-0. The only catch about that one is that Neymar got injured. He was taken off the field with a stretcher, via a stretcher, whatever your whatever is that with via whatever is. He had a name. What was it? Pronoun? No, not pronoun. Preposition. Whatever preposition is, I think. Yeah. So it's gonna be interesting to see how they're gonna respond with Neymar's absence, because apparently he will be out for 2 months because of that injury. Is it 2 months or 6 weeks? Yeah, something like that. Point is, he's definitely missing the return leg when Madrid will be in town, in Paris. So are they gonna be able to cope without Neymar? Are they gonna be able to overturn that? Are they gonna be able to cope without Neymar, overturn the deficit, and move on to the next phase of the knockout rounds? I can't wait to see that one. I can't wait. But then again, they have guys like Mbappe, they have guys like Di Maria who has loads and loads of experience. So yeah, they might actually overturn it, you know? They might overturn it. So yeah, tutaona. Hiyo itakuwa a cracker. I can't wait to watch it. So yeah, PSG, like I said, they were playing. Another game that was interesting and was happening this weekend was Roma hosting Milan. I honestly thought maybe it will be a draw. ama Roma watashinda. I never thought AC Milan watashinda. I honestly didn't think so. And they are kind of starting to become more consistent now, winning consistently. And this is happening just when they are going to meet Arsenal in the Europa League. So I can tell you for free, that clash will be a mouth-watering one. I can't wait. I honestly can't wait. It will be a fantastic game at the San Siro. Another game that was happening this weekend that was worth talking about, Serie A, Bundesliga, there wasn't shit. France, I've talked about it. Oh, I thought the Feyenoord versus PSV game was big. It wasn't. It was not. PSV are top, Feyenoord are 5th. Definitely not as tight as I thought. It's just that, you know, the two teams have history and they are big teams in Holland, but in real sense there wasn't shit. Kenyan Premier League, there was of course the Mulembe Derby, which I feel pathetic by the day that I missed it. It was happening just here behind me at Buhungu, but it passed me by. I don't know how it did, but it did, and I feel bad. Kakamega Homeboys were hosting Vihiga United. They won 2-1. I'm sure it was a fantastic game. It was a fantastic game, and I feel bad I missed it. Another game that was happening was AFC Leopards hosting Ulinzi Stars, and AFC actually did beat Ulinzi. I would never have fathomed that happening or imagined it happening, and they actually did. Kariobangi Sharks were hosting Gor Mahia. Gor Mahia are unbeaten in the league so far. They have one game in hand and they are second in the league, and they are 1 point behind the team that is top. So you feel like if they win that game in hand, they're definitely going top, and they will not get out of there anytime soon, because it's the best. They're the kings of Kenya Premier League, no doubt, hands down. Mathare United is the team that is top right now, holding that position for Gor Mahia. They are unbeaten also, by the way, but yeah, it's still early days for Kenya Premier League. It's just 4 games in, a bit too early to start talking much about being unbeaten and shit. All right, so that's all there is to talk about. I'll see you guys on Thursday. Thank you so much for watching. As we get to know more about the possibility of having a winter break in the Premier League, and of course as we get to see how Arsenal will be preparing themselves for the Manchester City clash at the Emirates. It's gonna be very interesting. I can't wait to see. I can't definitely wait to see. So yeah, that's all I have for now. I didn't go live today on Facebook because network issues here are at peak. Ziko pale. Yeah, kuna shida network hapa mbaya sana, so I just can't stream. So I had to record it, and yeah, that is why I'm doing this. That is why I'm sharing. But I hope you have had a good one, and thank you so much for watching and sparing your time to watch this. I will see you on Thursday. Have a good time. God bless.